Hello. From Wikipedia. In physics, mathematics, and related fields, a wave is a propagating dynamic disturbance, change from equilibrium, of one or more quantities. This definition sounds as if wave is some independent entity that exists on its own. It might be true for mathematics, but I claim that it's absolutely wrong for physics. The only way for wave to appear in real world is as a result of matter interaction. There would be no water wave without water molecules interaction, there would be no sound wave without air molecules interaction. Even though a wave, really is a propagating dynamic disturbance, it's not a key for understanding wave behavior of matter. I claim that the key is the matter interaction itself. And matter interaction can cause a propagating dynamic disturbance or other wave-like patterns. Good example of what can happen when we replace reality with our models is an unexplainable double-slit experiment. The assumption that wave can exist independently from matter interaction leads us to conclusion that photon can somehow pass through two slits. As if photon is a wave when it's not watched, a particle when it's watched. As if photon is conscious enough to know whether it is observed or not. Even more. After we accept photon being a wave, we get to even stranger conclusions. An experiment with mysterious name quantum eraser with delayed choice makes us consider accepting retrocausality. As if photon is not only conscious enough to know whether it's observed or not, but can pass that information back in time. All this strangeness disappears as soon as we reject the assumption that wave can exist on its own, independently from interaction. Because in that case we would have to ask ourselves, what else could cause the wave pattern that appears in the double-slit experiment, what else could cause the observer effect, etc. And we would find the real reason. I claim that the reason for the wave pattern is that moving photon interacts with photons emitted by slit material. The reason for the observer effect is that photon interacts with matter when it is being observed. Photon is being pushed in different directions and those pushes cause either wave or particle pattern. And photon does not have to be any kind of wave for that. Photon can be local and always pass through one slit. Photon's interaction with other matter creates wave patterns instead. Interactions can cancel each other and what is left either looks like a wave or not. If you are a physicist, you probably can see that this idea has something similar with Feynman's path integral formulation of quantum mechanics. The difference is that according to my assumptions photon does not calculate all possible paths just to choose one of them according to calculated probability. Instead it can be pushed by other matter in all possible directions. After some of those pushes cancel each other it is more probable for photon to get to specific positions with specific properties. I have a separate video about the double-slit experiment. Please watch it for more details. Link to that video is in the upper right corner now. It includes possible physical explanation and a working model. Because particle is never a wave, it does not have to be aware if it's observed or not. Therefore particle does not have to be able to travel back in time. And quantum eraser is just quantum filter. What is important, it can be tested. By heating, rotating slits edges we can change the interference pattern and see that it does depend not only on the state of the original particle and the distance between the slit edges, but also on the state of the slit. If I ever have a laboratory, I will show you that. I believe some problems in physics exist because humanity have somehow managed to convince itself that God was a mathematician as they say. That our universe is managed by math formulas. It does not have to be the case. According to my assumptions formulas in physics are only statistics of matter interaction and movement. I had a video on that. Link to that video is in the upper right corner now. And God could be a discrete machine instead. I had a video on that too. Even Newton's first law states that every object will remain at rest or in uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change its state by the action of an external force. Photon is an object. It moves straight until it changes its state due to interaction with other matter. No any waves needed. The same strangeness we see in quantum mechanics. If I'm right, then, observer effect, is actually interaction effect, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle is actually Heisenberg's interaction principle. I have a video on that. Link to that video is in the upper right corner now. Quantum non-locality is actually quantum inability to predict the results of interaction. I have a video on that. It explains why Bell inequalities are not a problem for local, real, discrete universe. Link to that video is in the upper right corner now. I believe that the goal of any science should be to reduce the total amount of initial assumptions, not to increase it. Particle being a wave is an extra assumption that ignores matter interaction. And matter interaction can give the same results without any waves involved. Why particle is better than wave? Because algorithm of particle can be linear. Particle does not need computation, it can just execute its algorithm independently from the rest of the universe and from the rest of the particles until they are near enough to interact. Just as it happens in Conway's game of life. Waves require computations, waves require wave function collapse, passing through two slits, retrocausality, spooky action at a distance. So what is wrong with waves in physics? I claim that they are not real, not fundamental. They are only results of matter interaction. No matter interaction, no waves. Only uniform motion. Or almost uniform motion. There is no any particle-wave duality. There are only different patterns of particles interaction. Patterns causing particle behavior and patterns causing wave behavior. There is one huge issue. All modern physics theories describe nature as some kind of waves, fields, strings, rains, loops. Therefore modern physicists claim exactly the opposite to what I claim. They claim that particles are not real, not fundamental. That particles are somehow produced by those waves, fields, strings, etc. Seems like my personal view of reality is opposite to currently accepted scientific view of reality. Therefore the path to the truth, even if I'm right, might be very very long and frustrating. Not sure I can go all the way without help. If you think that truth is important, please help me to share these videos. Seems like humanity confuses cause and effect. And could not add 2 and 2. Therefore humanity needs our help. Just as it needed Darwin's help some time ago. Thank you for your attention.